Money, some people have more than enough. Some are just getting by, some seem to understand it deeply, but most of us, we're still figuring it out. We often think money is all about numbers, budgets, spreadsheets, and smart plans. But in reality, the most important money choices happen far from calculators. They happen in quiet moments, at the dinner table, in conversations filled with emotion, shaped by our memories, fears, hopes, and dreams. Because money isn't just math, it's also human, and how we feel about it matters just as much as what we know. The truth is, money isn't just math, it's a mix of logic and human nature. And when it comes to money, we're not just logical, we're emotional. Financial success isn't just about what you know, it's more about how you act. This video is inspired by Morgan Housel's beautiful book, The Psychology of Money. Let's explore the very human side of money. Our financial stories. Each of us has our own story. We come from different generations. Our parents earned different amounts. We grew up with different values, in different places, facing different realities. So, it's no surprise we all think about money differently. For example, think about the stock market. If you were born in the 1970s, you probably saw stocks rise a lot in your younger years, and that might have made you more hopeful about investing. But if you were born in the 1950s, the market didn't move much when you were growing up. So maybe you're more cautious. Those born in the 1960s faced high inflation, so they became more aware and maybe more wary of rising prices. And people born in the 1990s, they didn't see much inflation at all, so they're probably less worried about it. Our early experiences shape the way we see money, and what we believe is safe, smart, or even normal. Why we do what we do. The choices we make with money aren't always right or wrong. They just make sense to us in the moment, based on what we've been through. Sometimes people make decisions that seem irrational, but behind every choice is a story. As Morgan Housel puts it, people do some crazy things with money, but no one is crazy. We're all just living our lives, doing the best we can with the information we have, and the experiences that shaped us. The bottom line. There's no single perfect way to manage money. What works for one person might not work for another, because we're all walking different paths. But if there's one thing we share, it's that our decisions come from the heart just as much as from the head. We make financial choices based on our life stories and the world we've come to know. And that makes every choice, no matter how different, something to understand, not to judge. Compound kings, Buffett's not-so-secret secret. Warren Buffett is often seen as one of the greatest investors the world has ever known. But here's something surprising. Out of his $84.5 billion net worth, over $81 billion came after he turned 65. Yes, most of his wealth came after retirement age. Morgan Housel, in The Psychology of Money, explains it simply. Buffett isn't just a great investor. He's been a great investor since he was a kid. He started investing at the age of 10. That gave him something most people never get: time. Let's break it down with a simple example. If you invest $1,000 at 8% interest, you'll earn $80 in the first year. Reinvest that, and next year you earn $86.40, not just on your original money, but on your earnings too. That's the magic of compounding. It grows slowly at first, but then it can snowball into something huge. Buffett had that snowball rolling early. He reached $1 million by age 30 and kept going year after year for decades. Now imagine if he'd lived like most people in their 20s, spent more on travel, gadgets, or nice cars, and only started investing seriously at 30. Even with his incredible skill and getting the same 22% yearly returns, he would have ended up with just $11.9 million today. That's less than 1% of what he's actually worth. What made the real difference? Not just how well he invested, but how long he did it. Let's take another example. Jim Simons, a brilliant investor. He's averaged 66% annual returns, triple Buffett's rate, but he didn't start seriously investing until he was 50. His net worth today, around $21 billion, still far less than Buffett's. Why? Because compounding needs time. If Simons had started at Buffett's age, his net worth could have been an unimaginable $63.9 quintillion. Yes, that's a real number. So what's the lesson here? It's not just about making money quickly or even being the smartest in the room. It's about patience, starting early, staying consistent, and letting time do the heavy lifting. In the end, the real secret isn't flashy. It's simple. Start now. Be steady and let compounding work its quiet magic. Pessimism and money. When it comes to money, most of us carry a quiet bias toward pessimism. We feel it deeply, even if, in the long run, the world tends to get better. Now, optimism isn't about pretending everything will always go right. It's the belief that, even with bumps along the way, things usually work out in time. But here's the thing. Good things take time, and that's exactly why pessimism can feel more real. Money touches every part of our lives. So when something bad happens, like a stock market crash, we pay attention, we worry, we react. Let's say the market drops 40% in 6 months. It's dramatic, it's newsworthy, it even triggers government action. But what about a 140% gain over 6 years? It happens quietly, slowly, and barely makes the news. The truth is, there are many overnight tragedies, but very few overnight miracles. Still, that doesn't mean we need to live in fear. Being realistic doesn't mean being pessimistic. Even when times feel uncertain, we can choose to believe in the slow, steady march of progress. The world and your money may face setbacks, but with patience, the odds of a good outcome are still on your side. So next time the headlines scream bad news, pause, breathe, and remember, most things get better over time. 2 forgotten elements. In 1968, out of 300 million high schoolers in the world, only 300 attended a small school in Seattle called Lakeside. That school had something no other high school did, a leased computer, and one lucky student got early access to it. His name was Bill Gates. That rare opportunity, combined with his brilliance, gave him a head start most never get. He later said, "If there had been no Lakeside, there would have been no Microsoft." But Gates wasn't the only gifted student. His friend Kent Evans was just as bright, just as driven. He could have been a Microsoft co-founder too. But fate had other plans. Kent died in a mountaineering accident before he finished high school. The odds of accessing that computer? 1 in a million. The odds of Kent's accident? Also 1 in a million. Luck and its shadow, risk, shape our lives in ways we don't always see. Success isn't just about talent or hard work. It's also about timing, chance, and staying humble enough to know we're not in full control. The key to happiness. People chase wealth thinking it'll bring happiness, but Morgan Housel puts it simply. The key to happiness is doing what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. Ironically, the more people chase money, the less freedom they seem to have. Studies show that control over your time, not your salary or job title, is the best predictor of happiness. Money can buy freedom, but only if you value time over status. If not, it's like pouring water into a bucket with a hole. It never fills. True wealth isn't just measured in dollars, but in how much of your day belongs to you. Tail events. Heinz Berg-Gruen, a Holocaust survivor, became one of the world's top art collectors. His secret? He bought thousands of pieces, but only a few became masterpieces worth millions. That's the power of tail events, where a tiny number of outcomes drive most of the results. It's true in art, venture capital, and even with Amazon. Prime and AWS alone made up for all their failed experiments, like the Fire Phone. Jeff Bezos once said, "If you think the Fire Phone was a big failure, we're working on much bigger ones right now." Success often looks clean in hindsight, but it's built on a mountain of small failures. You only need a few winners to change everything. Warren Buffett picked nearly 500 stocks. Only 10 made most of his money. So whether in investing or life, don't fear being wrong often. Just make sure you're right big a few times. Beyond bling, true wealth versus being rich. It's really important to know the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich means having a high income and owning flashy things right now. Being wealthy means having money and assets saved and growing, money you haven't spent yet. True wealth is invisible. It's not the Lamborghini you see or the diamond rings someone wears. Many people look rich but are actually living beyond their means, borrowing to keep up appearances. Building true wealth takes patience and self-control. Every time you say no to expensive upgrades or flashy purchases, you're adding to your wealth. Most of us are taught to think that having money means spending money, but real wealth comes from saving and investing what you have. Next time you see someone with a fancy car or a big house, remember, you can't judge wealth just by what you see. True wealth is about restraint, smart choices, and growing your future. The real price. Imagine climbing a mountain to enjoy the view at the top. You might face rain, get lost, or even get hurt. The climb is never easy or certain. You accept the risk as the price to reach the peak. But when it comes to investing, many people want to avoid the risks and get rewards without paying the price. Housel compares investing to buying a car. A new car, aiming for 12% returns, costs more but offers higher rewards. A used car, safer investments, costs less but returns less, around 4%. Stealing a car is like trying to get rich quick without risk. Most avoid it in real life, but try it in markets by chasing shortcuts. For example, from 1950 to 2019, the stock market returned about 11% annually, but with many ups and downs. Many investors try to avoid the emotional cost of volatility, trying to time the market instead of accepting its price. Successful investing means accepting not just financial risk, but emotional ups and downs. Treat the market's volatility like an admission fee you must pay to reach your goal. Hedonic treadmills. Enough? Know when enough is enough. Become familiar with the concept of hedonic adaptation, or the hedonic treadmill. Every time you hit the goal, you keep moving the goalpost further ahead. You need only look at the demise of Bernie Madoff and Gupta, two men who already had everything and were ultra-wealthy. But all the money in the world would never have been enough, both resorting to crime to make even more money. The pursuit of wealth and success, without a sense of knowing when enough is enough, is like climbing a never-ending ladder. No matter how high one climbs, there is always another rung to reach for, and the pursuit can become all-consuming, leading to a lack of happiness and fulfillment. Money and success come at a price, sometimes visible, often hidden. The real challenge isn't just earning more, but understanding the costs, controlling your desires, and recognizing when you have enough. That's where true wealth and lasting happiness begin.